Thanks everyone for coming on to this webinar. We're going to have some great information. Just a couple of quick things to go over. Hi, I'm Rob Stanley, Chief Marketing Officer for FeedbackWhiz. We got a great webinar today about how to scale on Amazon and increase your profits. And we will have a live Q&A at the end of that. And special thanks to obviously FeedbackWhiz and TurnKey Product Management. And I've got Jeff and Henson on with us. Henson, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody?
Hey, Rob, thanks for scheduling this for everybody. My name is Henson, CEO, co-founder of FeedbackWhiz. And today we have Jeff Lieber. He's our guest from TurnKey Management. And he's going to be, we're going to be discussing on some strategies on how we can increase profits and kind of take a quick look at some of the latest strategies and some tips we can help Amazon sellers.
Awesome. Cool. Well, hey guys, thanks for joining us and super excited. So my name's Jeff Lieber. I'm the founder of TurnKey Product Management. And yeah, we just did a little practice run here and we have some amazing content for you guys that's going to help you maximize Q4 and hopefully put a lot more profits and cash into your pockets. So should we dive in? Are we ready? Let's dive in. Okay, so just a little bit about our company. So TurnKey Product Management, we started over 4 years ago. We now have over 15 employees at our company. We sell over 8 figures per year. We actually trained one of the sharks from Shark Tank's entire portfolios to help them scale on Amazon. And we're working with some of their companies as well to this day. And yeah, at TurnKey, we basically do nearly manage every aspect of our clients' Amazon Seller Central and advertising and marketing and sales strategies, review strategies, anything with the goal of helping them grow their sales. That's what we do. And we've done it in dozens of niches, from beverages to supplements to equipment, beauty, you name it, we've probably done it. And yeah, we basically just are always innovating and testing what's working. You know, what worked a year ago is not typically working today. Amazon's fast changing. And so our job is to stay on top of it for our clients. So we're going to share some of what's working today. And yeah, so we just help our clients scale to 7 or 8 figures, depending on where they're at, with done for you and done with you services at TurnKey.
So, hey everyone, it's Henson here from FeedbackWhiz. A quick intro about our company for people that haven't used our software or know about us. We launched in 2017. Our team comprises of people that are experts in software engineering, e-commerce, and customer experience. And since our inception, we've helped over 20,000 Amazon sellers from across 13 Amazon marketplaces automate review generation and really help increase their revenue. Our current suite of tools includes feedback and review automation, listing and product review alerts, order management, and our brand new profits and accounting analytics tool, which I will talk a little bit about at the end of today. And here at FeedbackWhiz, we're working hard. We're currently innovating a lot of brand new tools for you guys. So we got some of the upcoming tools coming out, including inventory management, PPC automation, and listing repricing.
Awesome. Just a few things you guys are doing over there. All right, so let's dive in. So the first topic we want to cover, one of the main things whenever we look at clients, is how can we increase your brand's average order value and lifetime value of a customer. So for those who don't know, lifetime value is basically how much on average a customer spends with you, with your company, over the lifetime of them being a customer. And so imagine if you are a one product company. Let's say you just got one product and it costs $20, and you're competing against a company that has 10 products in the same niche, serving the same customer, and their average lifetime value is $100. So they basically have 5 times as much spending power than you, right? 5 times as much profits probably. And they have a bigger ability to scale. They can spend all that extra dollars to acquire a customer on advertising, on marketing, on cool strategies to test out. And so one of the quickest ways that you can grow your business and put more profits in your pocket is to add on more products that are under the same brand and serving the same customer. So ask yourself, who is the customer? So let's say you're selling a yoga mat. What else can I sell that customer? Maybe it's a yoga towel, yoga block, maybe yoga digital products. digital like courses and things of that nature. You can sell affiliate products. And there's so many ways you can get creative to sell more and serve that customer, and they're going to stay with you for a longer period of time. One of the fastest ways to do that on Amazon is by simply adding a new variation to an existing product that you have. And so one example is this is if you sell coffee, for example, it would be adding more flavors, right? Adding French roast, or adding, I don't even know what coffee flavors are these days, Starbucks mocha flavored coffee or whatever. So add, more and more variations based on flavor. You can also do it based on size or color. If you sell resistance armbands, you can sell different colors, different durabilities, different thicknesses, different weights, right? There's so many different ways to expand. And that's a great place to start. If you currently only sell like one variation of a product, like try to sell 2 or 3 or 4. And so that's just a great way to expand, as we talked about. Next, I want to talk about, if you can, try to find a way to launch repeat purchase products. So some of our most successful clients that we've ever had at TurnKey, they tend to have at least some component of repeat purchase products, whether that's supplements or coffee or beverages or skincare, things of that nature, where you acquire a customer once, and if they love your product and they need to purchase it again, they might buy from you 10 times over the next year or 2. And that's amazing, right? Because maybe you only paid $10 or $20 to acquire that customer, but they might spend $100 or $200 with you over the next year. Versus if you're just selling a one-time, hit it and quit it product where they only need it once and they don't need anything else from you again, it's going to be a lot harder to compete in the long run. So it's okay if you sell those one-off products, but try to add on for additional SKUs products that can be repeat purchase if possible. Would highly, highly recommend that. And if you do, make sure that you're taking advantage of Amazon's Subscribe and Save program on Amazon, and make sure your products are enrolled in that. And then also you can choose what percentages you want to offer off as as an extra incentive. So oftentimes the default is set to 0% off, like no discount for Subscribe and Save. So I would recommend you change it to 5 or 10% or more in order to try to incentivize, give people a reason to join your Subscribe and Save. So make sure to go check what your percentage offs are for your Subscribe and Save if you're in that boat. Cool. So if nothing else there, let's go on to a couple other options. You can add bundles. So you may have seen recently, we did a video on Amazon's virtual bundles that they just came out with. So it's really easy. So if you sell, say, a yoga mat and a yoga towel, and they're currently separate SKUs, you can now bundle those together as a virtual bundle just by creating that virtual bundle listing, and Amazon will do the work for you. So that's a really, really nice, easy way to add on, more SKUs and, and higher average order value. So highly recommend testing that out if you haven't already. And then next, I want to talk about if you're thinking about how can I launch more products, or you're not sure what products to get into, a great place to start is by checking out the market basket analysis in Amazon Brand Analytics in the back end. So there's so much great data in there that will show you what your customers are purchasing alongside your product, and will give you great product ideas. I guarantee that.
Hey, Jeff, just real quick, if anybody's jumping on Facebook Live, we did have a little hiccup. Don't worry, we are recording this, and within the next day or 2, we will have this up on the YouTube channel for both TurnKey and FeedbackWhiz. So anybody who's jumping on live or watching, we will definitely have a recording of this. We did have a little hiccup, but we are live on Facebook now. So go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, we basically just didn't say too much important stuff. Basically just increase the high lifetime value of a customer and average order value by adding more SKUs is the summary so far. So I want to talk about during the coronavirus or COVID, you've probably seen that different products are now in demand. So if you're in the boat where maybe some of your products are not in as high as demand as they were pre-COVID, which one of our clients was in that boat, they had most of their product SKUs were sold to people that worked out in gyms, and that was specifically for that. And they were doing great before, but the problem is that all gyms have basically closed nationwide or close to it, and their sales, have really taken a hit because of that. And so, what do you do when challenges come up? You got to find ways to get creative. So we help them come up with a list of 10 potential products that they could launch in the home workout space. So it still fit under their same brand. It still served basically the same customer, but it served them in a different way and met them where their needs were at the time. We helped them launch over 5 new products, and now their sales are almost back completely to where they were before. And I guarantee it that even when COVID ends, they're going to keep selling those products because they're great products they came out with. And now they've just created an even better, broader spectrum of SKUs under an awesome brand. And they're going to be very happy they did that for the long run. So get creative. We also help them reach out to influencers. That was really big in the space. A lot of influencers are, working from home a lot more these days, and they can make videos for you and post it to their audience. So now's a great time to reach out to influencers. Those are just a few examples of what you can do to move quickly. And then, we have, more COVID updates on Amazon as those are changing. So we can always send that to you guys as well as it changes. But hopefully those are, some tips. So think about all the info I just talked about. Maybe there's one thing you can go do. Maybe it's add a variation to your current product line, or get into a whole new product or repeat purchase. Just think about what can you do in order to grow your business. So here's one last example of one of our clients that did what we just talked about. So they came to us doing about 213 grand a month in sales. So they're already doing really well, but then helped identify some additional products. They came out with a 2.0 version of the product. They came out with a repeat purchase subscription model as well. And in 9 months, they tripled to over 744 grand a month in sales. So that is what is possible. So Henson, I talked about a lot of stuff there, but we need to remember that you need to measure your Amazon profitability. And that's where you guys come in, are experts at that. So can you shed some knowledge on that?
Hey, real quick, Jeff, we did have a question pop up. Somebody's asking about how do you qualify for subscribe and save?
Mm-hmm. Most products do qualify. You have to have enough like seller data and consistent ratings and a consistent review rating as well. So I don't have all of the criteria off the top of my head. If you just go to Seller Central and search subscribe and save, it should pull up the requirements. And if you don't have it currently, maybe you're not meeting one of those. Maybe you only have 3.5 stars or something like that, which would probably be too low for subscribe and save. So feel free to reach out to us if you can't find it. You can just email us at TurnKey and we'll track that info down for you.
Thanks, cool. Jeff, for all that really good information on how to grow your business. So I'm going to really quickly go over some ways you can help measure your Amazon profitability, since I think this is a topic that a lot of sellers don't really know all the details. So really quick, so running a profitable business means you basically need to understand every single cost that you incur, right? So it made it really simple to basically break down these costs in 3 different parts, right? We have acquisition costs, we have overhead costs, and we have Amazon fees and expenses. So acquisition costs are pretty straightforward, right? These are your direct costs, how much it costs to get your product, right? Which is the product costs, the packaging costs, shipping, quality control, inspection, yield, all that good stuff. So it's very easy to know this number because, obviously you'll have invoices, you have all the different metrics from your suppliers to give you this information. Now you also have overhead costs, which is non-product related costs. So this is costs related to running your business. So insurance, rent, utilities, bookkeeping, payroll, tax, travel. I think overhead costs is one section that a lot of sellers oversee. They don't really calculate this inside their overall Amazon profitability, right? So you really need to know these overhead costs because they can actually pile up very quickly. And you might be thinking, I'm making $1 or $2 per product, but once you put in your overhead costs, you could see yourself easily losing 20–30% margins. So really understand what your overhead costs are and keep track of them. And then we have the main Amazon seller fees and expenses. So every product that you sell on Amazon, Amazon collects a commission. So there's over 40 different types of Amazon fees out there. And it's not like you're going to get charged for every type of fee. But depending on your product, you really need to understand what kind of fees Amazon's going to ding you for. And without knowing this, it's sometimes really hard to figure out if before you even bring in the product, am I going to be profitable or not? So there's a page on Amazon that actually breaks down all the different types of FBA fulfillment fees, inbound shipping fees, long-term storage fees, returns, referral fees, PPC. So you really need to keep track of all these different expenses that you're actually spending when you're selling on Amazon itself. So basically, these are the three main segments of your overall fees and what you need to spend on. And if you have a good idea of tracking this, then it's very easy to figure out what your net profitability is, since Amazon gives you all the data on your sales and net revenue. So I'm going to kind of go over some of the key things I think sellers can do to help lower their fees. So there's not a lot you can do outside of trying to negotiate with your supplier on how to reduce the cost of your item. But there are some things you can keep in mind on how to reduce certain fees that you don't have to incur. One of the things is storage fees. So with storage fees, Amazon tracks you based on this inventory performance index. And there's a new algorithm they use, which they measure based on how fast you push your inventory, how much stranded inventory you have, how much excess inventory you have, and they give you the score. And for most marketplaces, Amazon requires you to have a score of 500 or above. Otherwise, they're going to basically charge you more for fees, storage fees, and then also limit the amount of inventory you can bring in. So you really want to monitor your inventory periodically. And one of the things you can do is you want to try to reduce your excess and stranded inventory. So look at the oldest products in your inventory. See, are they moving or not? Are they just sitting there? Have you had any sale recently? If they're not moving, then you want to consider getting rid of them as soon as possible, which is either creating a sale, running PPC, lowering the price, removing it, right? Improving keywords. So these are all ways you can try to get rid of that excess inventory. The other big metric they look at is the inventory flow. So this is basically how fast you sell through your stock, and they call this the sell-through rate. So you want to try to keep it consistent with how fast your sales are. So as soon as you're selling your products, you want to try to replenish that product as fast as possible and keep a balance. So you don't want to have too much inventory and you don't want to have too little inventory, because Amazon's going to rate you based on that. So inventory performance index is a very big part of lowering your fees. Or the next part is the type of products you're selling. A lot of sellers these days think FBA is the only way to sell, or the best way to sell products, and it really depends on the product you're selling. Sometimes you have products that they don't sell very fast, or they're very big and heavy. And these are all products that you may consider not using FBA. You might want to do FBM, because a lot of times what happens is if you send it to FBA and it doesn't sell, you're going to get hit based on the weight and the size. And if it sits there for too long, then Amazon will actually charge you more for storage fees. And in the long run, even if you do sell it, you might actually just end up breaking even or even losing money on it. So you might want to come up with a strategy of maybe doing a combination of FBA and FBM. A lot of sellers create different SKUs where they have a SKU just for FBA and a SKU for FBM, and then they might hold the FBM either in the warehouse or in their home, and then fulfill them as they're being sold. The next part for lowering Amazon fees.
Real quick, Henson. So on the topic of using FBM, I think that's a great idea, because a lot of our clients back in April or May of 2020, when COVID hit, like Amazon FBA warehouses, some of them got COVID, like in the warehouses, they shut down, and there's a lot of issues that popped up. Some of you may have seen, used to have Prime eligible items, like 1 or 2 day shipments. But then all of a sudden, Amazon was only promising 30-day or 25-day ship times, and everyone's conversion rates got killed and crushed. And so when that happened, some of our clients had 3PL warehouses like you're talking about, Henson, and they had a backup FBM listing that could do faster shipping than Amazon could. And those clients, their sales took off, like doubled that month, and then they were ready to go and had no drop. But the clients that were only Amazon FBA and they were 100% reliant on that, their sales basically went to zero almost, and they got absolutely crushed. And so we had to help them scramble to find a 3PL warehouse that could stay open during COVID. And so, yeah, so that's just another side tip. And if anyone wants any recommendations for 3PL warehouses, we had to vet them, like I said, for our clients. So we have a list of we interviewed 12 warehouses, and we have a list of I think the top 4 warehouses. So you can find that at our website, I think, at turnkeyproductmanagement.com/resource. Totally free. So if you need a 3PL warehouse or you want to explore that, we have some potential options to throw in the hat for you. So just wanted to mention that real quick, if that's cool.
Yeah. And the other thing too is if you can qualify for seller fulfilled prime, that's also great too, right? That's basically FBM but prime option. And it's not easy to satisfy the condition, but if you can, and you have a good seller rating, then I would definitely explore that option as well. So that kind of gives you a benefit of both sides.
And Henson, real quick, we did have a quick question come in, and I think it was kind of for Jeff, but I mean, I'm sure we could all 3 answer this. They were just asking, on average, from what you've seen from your clients, what is the profitability percentage after all costs, 20% or less? I mean, personally, I'm knowing of many sellers and sold myself. I think it's really going to vary depending on the product you sell, the cost you're getting it at, where your transportation fees are. Are you doing FBA or FBM? I mean, all those things are going to vary. But Jeff, I think that might have been directed at you based on a lot of the clients that you deal with. What do you usually see?
Yeah, I mean, it varies for sure. I mean, we've got some clients that literally have 50%, 55% net margins, and they're doing significant numbers. But we definitely have some that are more in the single digit or high single digit percentages, 10, 15, 20%. So it totally varies based on a lot of factors. But I mean, with your guys' P&L profitability software, do you have any data, Henson, that you've kind of seen, or?
Yeah, like Rob said, it really depends on the product you sell. The data, we can't disclose people's profitability because every product is different. Everyone sells different product. But based on my experience, I've sold in apparel, I've sold in kitchen, and the profitability is very different, right? Because you gotta also think about returns. Returns is a really big part of the picture. A lot of people don't consider. If you have a high return rate, then you need to have a very high profit margin. So with apparel, believe it or not, return rate can be anywhere from 20 to 30%, right? And with that kind of return rate, you can't survive with a 30%, so you need to figure out all right, based on the product before you even sell it, how much is the return rate's going to be? Because that plays a big factor. With kitchen return rates, maybe 1 or 2%, right? Because it's product people just install and then that's it, right? And then when those kind of products, 20 or 30% is actually really good, right? So I would say for me, when I used to sell, I usually use a rule of thumb. I want to make at least 30% net margins before I even consider selling the product.
Sweet.
All right, so let's go to the second part, lowering Amazon fees. Package optimization is is an area where I think a lot of sellers also overlook. When they first source their products, the manufacturer is going to basically just put everything in a box and send it to you. And a lot of times you're wasting a lot of space, right? Because Amazon charges you exactly for that dimension. You can't really change the weight too much, but the dimension of the package can be greatly varied, right? So you want to figure out, all right, can I reduce the empty space on my package? Is it necessary to have, the extra support, or, for example, if you're selling a pool stick or something, that could be considered an odd size product where it's really long and thin, but it doesn't weigh too much. But Amazon's going to charge you a lot for it because the dimension is very awkward, right? So products where maybe you can take an extra step and have them assemble it, break it down in half or even quarter of size, and then package together in a smaller size, you're going to save a lot on the FBA fees. The other thing is when you're sending the packages to Amazon fulfillment, you want to make sure that the packaging that you're sending to for each unit is very consistent. So you don't want to have anything sticking out. You don't want to have any tape or loose ends. Make sure all the dimensions of every single package you're selling is the same, because what Amazon I've seen a lot is they will basically measure your biggest package, and then they're going to charge you the same fee for every single other package that you have in there. So a lot of sellers don't realize that, and they look at their dimension costs and they're like, whoa, my package is not that big. And then they have to go and then, figure out how to reverse that. So it's a big part that sellers need to consider. And one of the tools I think really can help is using the Fba Fee Calculator, where you can put in the weight dimensions, and then that way you know exactly how much you'll save based on the package size. And then part 3 is combo packs and bundles. And like Jeff mentioned earlier, having bundles is awesome because you can virtually put together different types of items that the seller might need, and it kind of gives you an advantage over some of the other sellers that might be selling single items. With combo packs, it's also great too, because with fulfillment fees, if you're selling 5 individual items, Amazon's going to charge you 5 fulfillment fees, right, for 5 items. But if you put 5 together and sell it as one, then you're only going to charge once. So it's a really good way to figure out if your product qualifies for combo packs. Not every product qualifies. So if you're selling vitamins or socks or masks where people want to buy in bulk, right, then those are products you want to consider comboing together. Or things like barbecue accessories, party and school supplies, you want to bundle those together because a lot of people will need pencil, eraser, notebook, right? So consider your products and figure out how you can save fees and costs based on bundling and comboing together. One of the downsides of bundling is that every time you bundle together products, basically you're creating a new listing, right? And can't modify it later. So you got to really think about, making sure that this makes sense before you actually do it. And then you can't list them in separate categories. So they also restrict you of selling only one category only when you do that. Best advice I have for you guys is check the Amazon product bundling policies on Amazon Seller Central. It's a very long list of the rules, regulations, and the things you can do. But this is definitely a very good strategy on how to reduce your overall Amazon fees.
That is awesome. Cool. So guys, as we're heading into Q4, I want to talk about some different promotions you can run to boost your sales. So the first to talk about is coupon clippings. So a lot of you, hopefully have tested these. So this is the coupon clipping that shows up on the Amazon product detail page. And it's that little, you can click on, check the box to clip it. And it's really user-friendly for customers. And I think customers love it and they're now looking for it. And then also, a lot of people don't know that you also get your product added to Amazon's coupon clipping page. So there's like a deals page with coupon clippings with hundreds of products. You can filter by category. So that's just another benefit is you get placed there. So you'll find new buyers and traffic there to learn about your product and purchase it. The other great thing is you're only charged the 60-cent fee anytime someone actually clicks the coupon and actually follows through with the purchase. So that's what's really nice is, you only pay that fee when someone actually bought it. So you don't have to worry about that. That's really fair the way that Amazon bills that. Next, I want to talk about lightning deals. So this has been around for a few years. I think a lot of you probably tested these. So it's a flash sale promotion, typically featured on the Today's Deals page of Amazon. Very high visibility. They're limited time sales, usually just a few hours at a time, and then the deal ends. So it adds that scarcity, which is why I think it works so well. The deals tend to cost between $150 and $350. Depends on the time of the year and if it's during the holiday season. But we do have some clients where this still works super well. So maybe you haven't tested it in a while or you've never tested it. I would recommend you just try it once. Just book one lightning deal for $150, a couple $100, whatever it is, and just test it out and then actually measure the results and see if it gave you a profitable sales boost. Did you increase your sales by more than the cost of the deal, right? And if you did, then you can maybe expand it and start building this in where you're running these on the regular. But it doesn't always work for every niche. Depends on a lot of factors. So if you lose money and you got no sales boost, then it's okay. You only lost that couple $100. You tried it, and then you can cross that off your list, and don't put more money towards that.
Hey, Jeff, we had a quick question come up. I think this might have been from previous. They were asking about bundling, and it says, can bundles be child or parent listings, or are they standalone? So I think it could be asking something similar to if they're bundling something. I was thinking maybe they were trying.
In the Amazon bundling policy, it says if it's a child, if it's a variation product of a parent, they actually don't want you to bundle it together. They want you to just list it as a variation.
All right.
But that's a good question. I mean, I think if you create it separately as a different product, as long as it's not the same product within a parent variation, you should be able to bundle it. That makes sense, right? Like create as a separate listing.
Yep.
There you go.
Cool.
Todd, if you're listening, if you need more, why don't you contact us directly? We'll try to get you more info on that. Thank you.
Cool. Okay, so now let's talk about Prime Day and Q4. So Prime Day is, hopefully coming up. Hopefully it doesn't get pushed back further and further. So it's coming up in, we'll see. We've heard that it could be in October is what we're hearing. But who knows exactly? But I would at least plan for that. That it should be hopefully around then or leading up to Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So get ready for that. One of the best things that you can do is to schedule lightning deals during those deal day time frames. So you got Prime Day, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Those are the really big ones. But obviously you guys have probably seen, if you've sold on Amazon before, just in the few weeks leading up to Christmas, especially, all those days are still really, really great days to be running deals and promotions, and the buying traffic is just so high at that time. So make sure to take advantage. If you haven't tested 7-day deals before, I would highly recommend that. It's very similar to lightning deals, except you get the benefit of it being a 7-day period and being featured there. It's a little bit more expensive, but typically around $300 to $500, so nothing too crazy. And yeah, just a couple tips on those is make sure to check up on the deals leading up to it and make sure they didn't disappear. Make sure they're there's no issues with it. And also, a lot of people don't know that you can cancel the deals ahead of time if you don't like your time slot. So let's say sometimes they'll give you like a midnight time slot. From midnight to 4 a.m. Pacific time is your time slot. So that that's one of the worst time slots you could probably have, and the buying traffic will be lower than if it was, say, noon Pacific time. So you can always cancel the times if you don't like it, and try to only keep the deals that are in really, really advantageous looking deal slots. So here's an example of a client that we had that really loved running promotions and deals. So they came to us. They're called VitaCup Coffee. You might have seen them. They're now in Target and retail and all this. But when they came to us, they were starting out. They were doing $7,000 a month on Amazon, and they didn't have their listings optimized, and they didn't have the knowledge about all these different types of deals and promotions. And so and then we scaled up their advertising as well. So those are the 3 main factors that we did with them. But all the things we talked about, they helped them grow to over $300,000 a month in sales in less than 180 days. So just incredible, incredible growth. And it just shows what's possible when you do things the right way on Amazon. Oops, there we go. Okay, so next, one of the fastest ways to scale on Amazon is to invest some money into Amazon PPC advertising. So I just want to make sure to cover that, because as we head into the holidays, it's a really, really great way to boost your sales. It's also one of the fastest ways to lose money if you don't know what you're doing. So you really want to make sure to be strategic about it, and know what you're doing, and start small and start conservative if you're not currently spending a lot or don't have very much experience. So why invest in Amazon ads? Number one, it's surprisingly an actually great way to increase your organic rankings. And that's because Amazon tracks everything that's happening on their website. And so like if someone searches for, black yoga mat on Amazon, and then your ad shows up and you're selling a black yoga mat, someone clicks on it and they buy it, Amazon tracks that, and they know that, okay, that's really relevant for the term black yoga mat. And so if you do that enough times, you will start boosting your ranking naturally, your natural page ranking for black yoga mat. So hopefully eventually you'll be showing up on page 1 of the search results, where all of a sudden you're getting those glorious free sales, right? You don't have to pay for those sales when they click on your organic search result. And that's kind of the holy grail of Amazon. But one of the biggest things to do on the way there is to use Amazon ads in the meantime to help get there. Number 2, and number 3, they're kind of related, is it helps build brand awareness and gets you in front of new audiences. So we've got some clients, like when we worked with the Shark Tank companies, a lot of those companies said, like, why would I spend money on ads? Like, I'm a Shark Tank company, people already know who I am. And so, well, not everyone knows who you are. Like I didn't know who they were. I hadn't seen their episode. And so, but the point is that, like, if you're, say, selling a yoga mat or whatever you're selling, a toolkit, doesn't matter. Even if it was on Shark Tank or it's really, really awesome, most people haven't heard of your brand, right? And on Amazon, they have Amazon ads are keyword driven, right? So someone searches for, garage toolkit, and you sell a garage toolkit. Well, you can put your search result right in front of them at the top of the search results, and then boom, you just acquired a new customer that never heard of you. They weren't searching for your brand. They weren't married to any brand. They were open to whatever Amazon would give them. And Amazon ads is the fastest way to get in front of buyers and acquire those customers. So really awesome. And then lastly, it's just a great way to get the edge on the competition. So one, not all of your competitors are running Amazon ads. So that's an area of opportunity. And number 2 is most of the people who are running Amazon ads against you are not very good at it. They're not, world class at it. They're not doing it properly. So if you do it the right way, like what we're talking about, you can have that slight edge over your competition. So just to show you some of the results of what's possible. So this is one of our clients. They came to us and they were managing their Amazon ad campaigns on their own before, and they were doing pretty good. They were spending, they were getting $23,000 a month in ad sales. So that's sales revenue directly tied to the ads that we're running. So they're doing 23 grand a month in ad sales at a 39% ACoS, which is a 2.6 ROI. So it was, pretty decent, not great, but not terrible. And then after just 3 months of us taking over and realizing, what's missing in their campaigns and improving the profitability and cleaning things up, we were able to help scale them to $70,000 a month in ad sales. But we also improved the profitability. So we increased it to a 3.5x ROI and lowered the ACoS down to 29%. And then in that same period, their overall sales went from 366 grand a month to 480 grand a month in sales. So speaking to how organic search results can be improved by PPC. So this is a direct result of that, and just shows you how powerful and quickly you can scale using Amazon ads. And then, so not everyone knows what Amazon DSP ads are, but I just want to touch on it really, really quick. So if you are currently doing well with Amazon Seller Central PPC ads, and you're, say spending 5 grand a month or more, and it's profitable and it's going well, the next step I would tell you to consider taking is to test out Amazon DSP advertising. So it's still through Amazon, but it's like a different sort of advertising mechanism that they have. It's just a different type of ad platform. These ads are a little different because you can track customers both while they're on Amazon, but also while they're off of Amazon. So when they're on their phone, on apps, on different websites, you can follow them around with ads. You can retarget and remarket to customers who, say, visited your product listings but never purchased. So they were interested but just weren't ready to buy yet. You can retarget them, and you have a really big layer of control over those ads. You can run video ads and really specific types of ads towards them. And we've seen really great results. So here's just one example of a client. In our very first month of managing their ads through Amazon DSP, it drove over 59 grand in sales, in ad sales directly. And that's at a 17% ACoS. So that's what's possible. So, but again, it's really for those that are trying to scale to that next level. They're already spending 5-10 grand a month in ads already. That's who that would be for. So hopefully that makes sense.
Hey, Jeff.
Yes.
Question came in. Do you need a registered brand to do DSP?
Amazon brand registry. That's a good question. I believe that you do. And it would certainly help just to have brand registry. So that way you can have A+ content and video and all that good stuff to set yourself up for success. So I believe that you do. I'm not 100% sure actually. So that's a good question. Yeah. So one thing on DSP is you do have if you go directly to Amazon DSP, you can, maybe go to their website and check out their requirements. They might list that there. But you'll see that they have a $35,000 test budget. So if you're going to test it out with them, you got to commit and sign up for 35 grand, which for me, that's a little scary to do when you're not sure if it'll work or not. So the other option is you can find an agency that's been approved and certified through Amazon DSP's program. So like we went through that whole process. So we're one of the approved vendors. And so we can offer whatever budget that we want. It doesn't need to be 35 grand. So we found it's just $1,000 is the amount that we would need to do a serious test to see if it works or not. So within $1,000 we can see strong signals that yes, this is working well. Let's keep it going. Or sometimes it doesn't always work and we're like, this is not getting good traction. Let's just stop this test and stop from there. So yeah, but that's the last 2 cents on that. All right. So that was a lot. So Henson, you want to take it over and catch us up on FeedbackWhiz?
Yeah, we're almost done here. So we kind of just really good content here, just trying to help people with some of these tips, especially for sellers that aren't familiar with some of these strategies. I know they're a lot kind of basic, but if you guys have any questions, you guys can always email us or contact us directly. We can help you guys answer more of your questions. So with FeedbackWhiz, I just kind of want to really go through real quick on how we can help sellers grow their business. So since we started in 2017, we've helped generate more than 5 million product reviews through email automation. And I think a lot of sellers these days, there's been a lot of TOS changes. Actually today, Amazon released a new communication guideline policy, which we'll probably have a separate webinar for later this week to talk about. But the good thing is Amazon still allows you to go out, ask your customers for reviews. You just have to do it in the proper way. One of the new things that we released in July was the automatic Amazon request review button, which we can automatically trigger for you. So if you have any doubts of following TOS, using browser extensions, we've taken care of all those issues. So you can actually use it right now in FeedbackWhiz. And our newest tool is the Profits and Accounting tool, which is still currently in beta, but we're going to release it very soon to general audience. But anyone today listening that wants to test it out, you can send us an email and we can enable it for you for free. You can use it. So it's a one-of-a-kind interface. Basically, you can track every single detailed metric of fees, sales, and have the ability to input like your direct, indirect costs, expenses, things like that, custom group labels and products. So this is kind of what we can help you guys with right now.
Awesome. And Henson, real quick, so on the request for review button, because when that came out a few months ago, we started using that with our clients and it was working great for reviews, but we were doing it directly on Amazon and it was really slow and you had to do it super manually and it took a lot of time. So like how many can you do at a time, or like how quickly can you do that?
Yeah, so the way we do it, it's instant. So as soon as we send send the request over to Amazon, it triggers it right away. And, there's no limitations on how many you can send at once. The limitation really comes to Amazon's 5 to 30 day after delivery window, right? So you got to make sure your products first meet that criteria. Otherwise, they won't let you trigger it. But as long as it's in that 5 to 30 day delivery window, like our software will, schedule, trigger whenever you want to trigger it. So there's no like lagging or having you don't need to have your browser open or anything like that anymore.
Wow. Okay. So it's like set it and forget it and just saves a lot more time. Okay.
Exactly. Yep.
Just a quick note there too, just so people know, this is part integrated with our software, our proprietary software. So this is not using those Chrome extensions like some of the other ones out there, Jeff.
Yeah, that's nice. I've had Chrome extensions literally like hacking my browser and stuff lately, like not related to that, but yeah, so I would prefer to not use a browser extension. So that's nice.
So yeah, I wanted, since we're in the subject of, measuring profits and increasing, your profits, just want to give you guys a quick glimpse of this profits and accounting tool. I know a lot of you guys aren't in the beta program or haven't used it, but if you're using another software, really, come check us out, right? Because we spend a lot of time building this, and it really just has a lot of detailed information about, every single metric within your Amazon profit cycle. And, we pull in all the different data, your sales, your fees, PPC. You can aggregate all different marketplaces together. You can basically change it to the currency of your choice. I know a lot of European sellers have issues, or Japanese sellers have issues with converting to their native currency. So this can all be done on the fly, right? You can track all the performance on a individual ASIN level or a complete marketplace aggregate level as well. And one of the best features I think we've developed in here really is the ability for you guys to bundle your products together. So what I mean is you can custom group and label different types of products. So if you're selling, in different categories like clothing or like electronics or, exercise supplements, you can actually go into our tool and pick the ASINs you think, like, I want to categorize these as clothing, or I want to categorize these vitamins. And then you can pull the data just for those categories and then compare them between each other. So I think that's a really, that's a big deficiency that Amazon Seller Central hasn't been able to address. And, for you to do it yourself, pulling in a spreadsheet is very cumbersome. So.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah, so just kind of give you guys a little bit more screenshots. We're not going to do a demo today just because, it's not, we're just kind of showing you guys what you guys can do. But if you go to our features, feedbackwhiz.com/features.profit page, you can get more information on that. So yeah, like I said, it has all the breakdowns of all the fees, all the costs associated with selling on Amazon, and it gives you the ability to input your own costs, right? So you can put in your per unit cost of goods, you can put in all your indirect expenses like, rent, fees, things like that. And it has a lot of graphs and charts to help you identify trends, right? So in the next iteration, we're gonna have a lot of business analytic alerts, which allow you to track things that happen. So for example, like, if I change my product image, I wanna know what happens to my sales, right? And then you can set different thresholds, for example, like refunds, right? Like if I suddenly hit a refund rate of 20% for a certain ASIN, I want to be notified of that right away. So I think having software tools that allow you to track these kind of metrics is really valuable because you're able to address issues right away rather than, later on finding out that, oh, suddenly I have a huge return rate for this product. The customers are saying there's a defect or something in the reviews, and it can really cost you a lot of money. So there's a lot of benefits on using this tool to help you guys not just measure but also notify you of things that happen to your products.
That's awesome. And so I have a question on this. So with this tool, so it's in beta right now, so it's like people can join it for free, you said, and then how long does it take them? Is it just like you link the MWS or the API to your Amazon account, it just pulls in the data, and then within that same day it'll spit out the data and profit and loss essentially for is that kind of how easy it is?
Yeah, it's very simple. It's just like connecting to any other third-party tool. It's all the data comes from MWS. If you want PPC data, then you have to connect your PPC advertising, MWS. But once you pull it in, it depends on how far back of history you want, right? If you have a lot of products and you want a year's worth of data, then it could take a little while to pull that in. But if you have a normal size amount of orders coming in, then that data is available like pretty much within 10-15 minutes, right? And then all you have to do really is to input your cost of goods, your expenses, and then we can help you accurately calculate exactly what's your profitability and net margins.
And Henson, we got a question that came in real quick. Somebody was asking about, is this a substitution for a program like Fetcher? I'm not familiar with them. Are you?
I believe Fetcher is the profits and loss tool for Jungle Scout, right? I definitely is. I mean, I think we did a lot of market research. We've been developing this tool with a lot of top sellers, and we just try to figure out all the different pain points sellers have right now. And as you can see with the interface, I mean, it's a lot different than everyone else's. There's just a lot of more data. There's a lot more functionality. I think once you guys use it and play with it, you'll notice how powerful it is. And like I said, we pull a lot of information like your top products. You can download reports for any of the sections. I mean, you can filter and search by pretty much any metric, right? So if you want to find like exactly how much I sold for this, group of products, you can pull that up, or you can compare it with different groups of products. And it's just really easy, I think, intuitive way to view all the stuff, all the data at once in front of you.
Beautiful. Cool. So we are almost done, guys. I believe this is the last slide here. So to help wrap things up, one thing I want you to think about looking at this slide is which expert roles are you missing from the below? Or maybe you're either missing them completely or they just have subpar performance. They're not really nailed down completely. Because in my experience, what I've seen over the years is if you have these 5 roles dialed in your company and on Amazon, then Amazon should be basically like an autopilot sales generating growing machine. So expert number 1 that I want to make sure that you have is you need to have an Amazon advertising expert. So that's someone that's managing your Amazon Seller Central PPC and DSP, like we talked about, if you're ready to do that, if you're doing that. So you need to have an expert because, again, you can lose money really fast if you don't know what you're doing. So you want to make sure that someone on your team is an expert, or hire an agency or someone that you trust that knows what they're doing and that's what they do for a living. And make sure they have the proper training and systems to follow that as well. Expert number 2 is what we call an account listing health maintenance expert. And what this is, well, I guess at the front end piece, you want to have, there's software out there like FeedbackWhiz. They have an awesome functionality called FeedbackWhiz notifications that can track a lot of like the issues that happen on your listing. So if you lose your buy box, or your price changes, or your listing goes down, using a software like that will help notify you instantly, because the faster you can learn about it, the faster you can deal with it. So that's step 1, is make sure you have a software like FeedbackWhiz is in place. And then number 2 is have someone on your team or company or whoever that they're in charge of dealing with handling and resolving that notification. So fixing the buy box or fixing the listing or whatever the issue is, someone needs to be on that as soon as possible. Expert number 3 is you need to have a great customer service representative. And because Amazon, as you all know, is a review-driven platform, right? If you have bad reviews, you're not going to last very long on Amazon. And so you need to have a great customer service person. That's the human interaction part. You can hire someone part-time for that. Very, very, very cheap and cost effective, totally worth it. Recommend doing that. And then 2, you want to use softwares and automations to help improve that. So Henson talked about that they have the request a review button functionality with their software. So make sure you're using that so that you're getting more reviews than your competitors. Not everyone's doing that, right? And use their autoresponder, having some autoresponder like FeedbackWhiz or another one that is sending automated customer service messages. That will help improve your customer experience and 5-star reviews, and will help grow your sales. Expert number 4 is an inventory, shipping, and logistics expert. As you guys know, if you run out of stock, if you don't stay on top of your inventory, your sales go to 0 on those products. And it can be very hard to recover from that. So you need to forecast ahead of time, make sure all your shipments are on time. So someone's got to get that handled, someone on your team or a company that you're working with, and they need to have the right systems and forecasts and templates. And then the last expert is a sales growth and Amazon tactics expert. So a lot of the strategies that we talked about today, right? Those weren't around 2 years ago or 3 years ago, because Amazon's always changing. So someone needs to be living and breathing, Amazon and staying on top of it. So if someone on your team is passionate about that and they can listen to all the podcasts and stay on top of it and execute and test those strategies and find what's working, that's awesome. But if you don't, then you should try to find a company or a person that can do that for you. Like that's what we do, at TurnKey, and that's what FeedbackWhiz does. We live and breathe Amazon. So you want to have someone that knows what they're doing and is on the cutting edge of all that stuff. So just take a second and look at all 5 experts and think which one or 2 of these are you either missing, or whoever's doing on your team is doing a subpar job. And if you helped fix that or tweak that, that could really help take your business to the next level. So as we talked about, FeedbackWhiz can solve a lot of those things there, especially on the software side. And then if you're missing any of those experts, that's what we do here at TurnKey as well. Whether you're missing all 5 or just one of them, that's exactly what we do, is we help companies fill their exact needs that they have. So cool. So anything else on that slide? Are you guys good?
Jeff, we did have a question come in that was specific to you. They were asking about that they're aware that you help companies grow and scale, but do you also help with product launch?
Yeah, Amazon product launches. Yes, absolutely. Yep. Cool. Yeah, I mean, properly planning out a launch is absolutely critical. That first, 30 days of when the product goes live, you really need to nail that and maximize that. If you just throw up a listing and, don't, just casually promote it when you get around to it, and then those 30 days pass and you had low sales and traffic, you miss that big window of opportunity. That first month is really where you want to have a strategy in place weeks before you launch. And then you're just following the plan and coming up with that plan and executing on it is absolutely critical to set yourself up for success, boost your page rankings, all that good stuff. So product launches are, absolutely critical.
Quick follow-up. Sean was asking, do you do launches in Canada?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. We work in multiple of the Amazon international platforms. Yep. Cool. All right, guys, we made it. So we're going to get into some free stuff we wanted to give you and open it up to live Q&A. So feel free to, start putting any questions you have in the chat, because we have some time here. And then the things that we wanted to give you guys for free and some value was, so from the TurnKey side, so if you liked anything that you heard and you want to try to grow to the next level, if that's what you want in your Amazon business, is you want more sales and higher sales trajectory, that's what we do at TurnKey. It's really hard to do it on a webinar training like this and answer everyone's questions and solve all your pain points, right, in a training like this. What we found is you really need, every business is completely different. And so that's why what we do is we're happy to hop, if you made it this far to the end of this training, then you're probably very committed to your business. So we'd be happy to hop on a free call with you where we'll literally just ask you questions about your business, learn about, where you're at currently, where you want to be, where do you want to grow to? And then we'll help come up with what do we think the steps are that you're missing to get there. And, part of that might be, if we think we can help you get there, we'll let you know if we can. Sometimes we can't, we're not the best solution for you, and we'll let you know that as well, that we'll try to point you in the right direction to the proper resource or anything we can do to help. So whether you're doing, just starting out, or 30K a month or 300K a month, we've got clients of all sizes. So if you want to grow to that next level, we're happy to schedule a free call with you and see if we can help you. So just go to turnkeyproductmanagement.com/talk, and that's where you go to find a time to speak with us. So, but yeah, really appreciate it. And then, Henson, you want to talk about what you guys got there?
Yeah, anyone that hasn't used FeedbackWhiz, you can use the promo code webinar TK50, 50% off first month. You'll get a 30-day free trial. And then anyone that's using FeedbackWhiz or wants to try our profits and accounting tool, send us an email, support@feedbackwhiz.com, and we'll enable it for you on your account. Link to sign up is app.feedbackwiz.com/signup. If you guys have any questions about anything FeedbackWhiz related, Amazon related, you can always email us again at support@feedbackwiz.com. We'll do our best to connect you to the right people and answer the questions that you need.
Yeah, so thanks everybody for being on. We are still going to get to the Q&A here in just a second, so keep those questions coming in. Just jumping back to Jeff real quick. So we have somebody else asking about, do you do help with product launches in the UK? Why don't you just kind of go over maybe where you do or don't help with product launches?
Yeah, we do. We work on the different international Amazon platforms and product launches just the same. So, yeah, we definitely do that. So yeah, you can head over to turnkeyproductmanagement.com/talk and book a call. And that way we could like learn like, where are you at? You know, how far are you at? Where's your inventory? What's your timeline? We'll ask all those important questions to like figure out, you know, whether we can, you know, it's a slam dunk to help you orchestrate that or if not, or you can email hello@turnkeyproductmanagement.com if you prefer to just have the conversation through email to start out. You can email us there as well.
Perfect. We got another one here for you, Jeff, so stay right there. How much startup capital do you recommend for product inventory launching, PPC, DSP, if a product is in the consumable space?
Yeah. Well, are you just starting out? That's a follow-up question to that person. Are you just starting out? Like you don't have any products or brand or sales yet, and you're asking from square one, or are you already doing 30 grand a month in sales and you're adding on a new product? If you could answer that in the chat, that would be helpful.
Yeah. So go to turnkeyproductmanagement.com. Was that /talk? I think you said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't you follow that up with them over there? And then Henson, I think this was one for you here. How important is it to always have FBA in stock, even if I have an FBM listing? Will it affect conversion and or buy box, even if I'm the only seller?
In my experience, I'm not sure if it's gonna really affect. I mean, if you have your listing available with no stock, then it's definitely gonna hurt your sales ranking, right, or your listing ranking. But if you have something in stock, it shouldn't matter. But having FBA in stock, I would say, is always good to have something in stock, just because the way that when you do searches on Amazon's always going to prefer FBA listings ahead of FBM listings, right? So in search results, if you only have FBM in stock, then likely your product's not going to be visible as your competitor's product, unless you're selling a product where no one else has FBA. Right, so it is important to have FBA always in stock, in my opinion, as long as you replenish it, you know, like I said, with the the performance index and keeping track of, you know, how fast it sells out.
Yeah, and anybody who's watching this after, we're going to wrap this up right now. And anybody who's watching, if there's any questions do come up while you're watching this, either while it was on Facebook Live or on our YouTube channel, or even TurnKey's YouTube channel, feel free to contact us. The contact information's up on the screen. Again, it's turnkeyproductmanagement.com/talk. Or for us, you can go to our website or email support@feedbackwiz.com. And thanks again to Henson and Jeff for doing this, or putting on this great webinar with all this great information. And again, Turnkey Product Management and FeedbackWhiz. And we'll see you guys soon with another webinar coming up.